On a recent More Than Blockchain episode, I said that the institutions are coming. And the reality of it is they're already here. And if we look at this tweet from Bitcoin News, it says, Bitcoin rally was fueled by institutional investors per JP Morgan. Now, this may seem like a Captain Obvious tweet or something that seems obvious for those in Bitcoin, but I think it's really important that those outside of Bitcoin start to tune into the fact that, yeah, the institutions are not only here, but they're going to continue to come in by the droves. And to kind of build on this from a Bitcoiner's perspective, I love the first comment there from Martin K. He says, TradFi institutions trying to stay relevant. Since when did I care about JP Morgan's opinion on Bitcoin? Well, the reality is, Martin, and for most of us, you don't have to care about JP Morgan's opinion or Bank of America's or Wells Fargo or BlackRock or any of their opinions. But we should be keenly aware of what the big banks are doing. Because as Ice Cube said, big bank takes little bank. And if you're wondering why maybe the institutions are so interested now in Bitcoin, I think it's for two reasons. Number one, the BlackRock, Fidelity, and all the other ETFs that have been filed and are no longer an if, but rather a when, I think are the co-signing that a lot of the institutions need to be able to come in.
No one wants to be the first one. No one wants to be the, quote, guinea pig.
BlackRock doesn't care, though, because they realize that being first has a huge advantage. Fidelity, too. The other reason is because the NASDAQ is in trouble. And I think traditional finance rails, just in general, are in trouble. And if you watch this episode that I put up on More Than Blockchain more than a year ago, it basically talks about how 401ks and TradFi economics, essentially, stocks, are just all going to pale in comparison to what Bitcoin is going to do. And for more proof on this, or at least what we have right now, let's look at this tweet that says, since September 1st, Bitcoin is up 34% and the NASDAQ is down 8.6%. And you can really see those trend lines going in different directions. And if we zoom out even farther and we look at the end of September into October, you can see on this chart, the purple being Bitcoin and the next teal down being the NASDAQ. So part of me thinks that the institutions need to find a better way to basically hold value, especially in a high inflation world that we're living in. Some countries have like 50% inflation day on day. Other countries like the United States, they're saying inflation due to CPI is around 3 to 5%. But the reality of it is, if you go and you look at your food basket, the cost of living, the cost of transport, and everything else, it's probably much higher. So the institutions realize this, and they need to find a better way to invest their money. But what do you think? Do you think the institutions are here? Do you think more are going to come along? What do you think the impact is going to be of the Bitcoin ETF or Bitcoin ETFs when they're finally launched? Please subscribe for more Bitcoin and crypto content, and go ahead and leave a comment on this video if there's something specifically you want me to talk about in the future. Thanks.